Hey there, and welcome back to Nail Chronicle. I'm back with another Halloween series for 2022. This time I'm going to, well, I don't really know, I haven't planned out all my designs yet, but I know that at least for this design I'm trying out a new stamping plate that I bought from Monology at the beginning of this year, and I've been dying to give it a go. So I started out this design with that gorgeous dark green polish that you saw. I did about 2 coats of that one, and then I moved on to the nail stamping part. For the nail stamping, I knew I wanted to do, say, 2 to 3 images of reverse stamping. I didn't want to go too overboard because I wanted to keep this quite quick. So I just sort of decided to try and see what images would work with the reverse stamping with the colors that I'd chosen. I had to use a white outline because otherwise I was really worried that it wouldn't show up on the dark green, and I wanted to make it really obvious and really clear of what the images look like. So I started out with stamping a bunch of images on the stamping mat just to see which ones I would want to reverse stamp. A few of these images, as I was picking them up, I decided that they actually looked pretty good on my hands themselves, and so as I was going, I decided just to add them straight onto my hand, seeing as they would look really cool, and I knew I wasn't going to reverse stamp them, at least not for this instance. I may do that for another design. So I just kept going along until I was happy with it and had at least 2 images on the stamping mat. There was 2 images that I selected for reverse stamping. The first one was the skull with the little bow tie, and the second one, which unfortunately I didn't get to film, it was the witch, which I coloured in her dress sort of like a purpley pink colour. For the skull, I decided to go with a bright pink colour and just used my dotting tool to slowly fill in the colours, or fill in the colour as I went through, just to give it a little bit of pop. My aim with the bright colour was just to change it up a little bit, add a bit of vibrancy to the design as well, and just make it look a little bit different, especially for a Halloween design. Once I was ready, I then added the Monology smudge-free top coat over the top and let that dry for a little while. The biggest tip I've got with these ones is just take your time and don't be afraid to just pop them on the stamping mat if you're not sure if something's going to work. It's much better to put it on the stamping mat than having to try and somehow remove it from your hand or put another base coat of base colour over the top just to hide that image if you have made a mistake. So as soon as that had dried, I just used my tweezers to slowly lift it up off the stamping mat, and then pop it on my hand. And generally I prefer using my hand, but because these decals were a little bit smaller, it was a little bit too fiddly, and so I did have to go with the tweezers. It just means that the image sometimes isn't placed exactly where I'd like it to be placed. But in the end it turned out alright, except for the witch, who unfortunately I wasn't happy with the placement, tried to move it and ended up smudging it. So I don't recommend moving it too much once you've got it on your hand unless you're really sure of how dry the image is. But anyway, this is my first Halloween design for 2022. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you're going to be doing any Halloween nail art and what you plan to do. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next week. Bye!